Hi everyone, my name is Renee, and today I will be showing you how to set up the basic functions of the Wireless Manager point of sale system. I'll try to do the settings in 5 big steps, so let us begin. First, we will need to set up the store's company information. To do this, we go under Administration, Setup, Location Setup. Enter all the relevant company information. This information is printed out on your receipt, so try to be as comprehensive as possible. Go to Taxes and Tiers to set up state taxes. If your state only charges one tax, you only need to set up Tax 1. If your state charges E911 or MTS taxes, you can set this value under the E911 box. You can leave the other taxes as is, and you can ignore the tier settings for now. Next, go to the Devices and Policies. Here you can set up your printer and cash drawer settings. Select if you are using a standard 8x5x11 printer or a thermal printer. You can also enter your company policies on this page. For the cash drawer, the most common setup is that the cash drawer is connected to the printer. If not, then select the USB option. If you want the system to keep track of the float amount whenever you close the till, enable the tracking option down here. You can set the amount to be either tracked per location or per computer. If your store has one cash drawer and multiple computers, then set it as per location. The next tabs are all optional settings to enable the time clock and the credit card processing. For now, we only need these basic settings to get the store operational. We now go to the next section, which is setting up your vendors and products. We do this by going under Administration, Inventory, Manage Vendors. Here we set up the contact information for your suppliers. We really only need the dealer code and the dealer name. If you don't have an actual dealer code, you can use the initial of the dealer or make one up. The other fields are all optional. Next, go to Administration, Inventory, Manage Products. Here, we will create your product list. Note that I said list and not inventory. We will add the inventory later. For now, it is best to make all your product SKUs, then add inventory afterwards. Also, if you don't use SKUs, you can use the UPC codes on the device. I usually tell my clients to use the barcodes already on their devices so that they don't waste time printing barcode labels. Okay, back to the Manage Product module. Scan the product SKU of your device, then enter the product description. Select the product type. Our system only accommodates 3 types of products, which are accessories, serialized devices like phones and SIM cards, and payments. I think it's pretty self-explanatory what these types are. If you need a custom product like repair parts for example, you will need to use the product grouping option. Anyway, going forward, click on the add details to enter optional extra information like make and model or the product groups. Click on pricing to enter the sales price and cost. Please note that the cost price on this window does not mean that all your items will be at this cost price. This is merely used as a reference when you actually enter your purchases. Later on, I will show you how to override this price when you add the inventory. Now, under custom settings, there are some boxes that are checked by default. Taxable simply means that you charge tax on this product. Track inventory means you want the system to keep track of your inventory. This setting is usually off for non-tangible items like PIN cards. Compute profit means your store does not collect profit from the sale. You usually see this on bill payments, where the actual bill payment amount is not profitable. Speaking of bill payments, if your state charges extra tax on bill payments called E911 or MTS, you can enable that as well on this page. Sometimes the same product will have multiple SKUs or multiple UPC codes. This usually occurs when you are buying from multiple suppliers. It's the same product, but different vendors have their own codes. To keep your inventory and product list neat, you can add those extra SKUs and UPC under the barcode section, so that when you scan these items, the inventory will all be compiled together. After all that, just click Save. You have now successfully created your first product. Now, there was a reason why I keep telling you guys to create all your SKUs first before adding inventory, and I will show you that in the next section. Okay, now that we have successfully created our vendor and our product list, it is now time to add the actual store inventory. So we do this by clicking on Add Stock, or you can also click on Inventory, Add Inventory from a vendor. Adding the inventory is pretty straightforward. We just click on the vendor name, scan the product SKU, or you can use the UPC code, enter the quantity that we are purchasing, and entering the cost price. If you remember, when we created the product SKU, I told you guys that the cost price on the module can be overridden. This is where you enter the actual cost price for that item that you purchased. Anyway, once you have those fields entered, click on Add to Cart. Now, adding other inventory will have the same flow. The only time that this is going to change is when you add a serialized item, like a phone or a SIM card. Let me show you. I am going to scan this phone's SKU. As you can see on the description, it is a Samsung Galaxy S7 Black. Notice how the quantity box is grayed out. This is because the quantity will adjust as you scan the serial number. You really only need to enter the cost price, then click on Add to Cart. Down here on the cart, click on View Serial. You will now be presented with this small window where you can scan those serial numbers or IMEIs. Just click Save when you are done and click on Save Inventory on the main module. This message that popped up is just a notification saying that you left the vendor details blank, which is over here in this section. And really, this is just the invoice number and the amount from your vendor. It's an optional setting, but it makes tracking paperwork easier for you. And there you go. We have successfully created our inventory. Now, the reason why I keep insisting that you create all your SKU first before adding the inventory is so that you don't need to keep switching between the two modules, manage products and add stock. As you can see, adding the inventory is straightforward, and if you already have your SKU ready to go, you just need to keep scanning the SKUs and then adding the quantity and saving. On this section, I will show you guys how to set up your carriers and your plans. I will be using Boost Mobile as an example, but you can definitely create different carriers. For those of you who does not need activations, you can go ahead and skip this section and go to step number 5. So, to set up your carriers, go to Administration, Accounting, Carrier. We only need to set up the carrier name. In this case, I will be entering Boost Mobile, and from the mapping, I will select Boost Mobile. Click Save and we are good to go. If you are wondering why we need to select mapping, some carriers have specific settings like second and third month activation or activation fees. We use these mappings to trigger these settings. Alright, now we need to set up our plans. So go to Administration, Accounting, Manage Plans. Enter your plan code. For my example, I will use a $55 monthly plan. My description will be 55 unlimited talk and text. Select your carrier as Boost Mobile and select the plan date. Select the plan type. So for this, I will be selecting New Activation. The term is the contract term. Leave it at 0 if there is no contract. And lastly, enter the base commission that the store receives when you activate this plan. Click Save. If you want to set up an upgrade or a port-in version of the same plan, you will need to create a new record and change the plan type to upgrade or port-in. I always tell my clients that if you are running promos based on the plan type, or if you have different commission value for plan type, it is best to create one record for each plan. We have now set up all the necessary sections of the system. Now let me show you how everything works together. For activations, I will be using Boost Mobile as an example. Most carrier integrations functions the same way. If your carrier is not integrated, you will need to select manual activation and manually fill in the activation form. So let me show you how the integration works. I will select activation and then I will select Boost Mobile. A pop-up will show up with my Boost Mobile credentials. I click go and it will open the Boost Mobile SPG portal where I will be logged in automatically. All I need to do here is click on New Activation. And as you can see, as I enter the information required, the system is actively capturing the same information, reducing the work for me as I won't need to re-enter them in the POS. After you are done activating the phone, you will need to select the plan activated. This will trigger the phone price so that all you need to do is to save and check out. You will be once again taken to the sales module so you can add any accessories that the customer would like to buy, or you can just go ahead and take the payment. For basic accessory sales or phone sales with no activation, just click on the sales from the sidebar. Enter the customer mobile number, and if the mobile number exists, it will bring up the customer record. If not, just enter the customer name to create a new record. Scan or enter the product SKU. The system will pull up the device info as seen on the description, then all you need to do is enter the quantity. The sales price is automatically entered based on the SKU settings. Your sales rep can edit the price based on their permission. You can check other videos about the user permission settings. When you have the information filled in, just click on Add to Cart. You can add additional items by going through the same procedure, or just click on Pay Now to finalize the sale. You can see the breakdown of the amounts and taxes on the side, as well as the total amount due. Just click on the tender type, enter how much the customer is paying, then click on Save. We have now successfully set up the Wireless Manager point of sale system. Thanks for watching.